I would like to thank Mangesh sir for elaborating on the union budget. We will start with our panel discussion. I would first like to welcome Shri R.C. Sinha sir. Shri Sinha sir holds a master's degree in economics from Lucknow University. He has done his LLB from Delhi University and postgraduate diploma in urban development from London University. His extensive career in the Indian Administrative Services starting from 1962 saw him in key roles of collector and district magistrate in Aurangabad and Osmanabad. He has held positions including VCMD of MSRTC, MSRDC, CIDCO, Director at the Ministry of Surface Transport, and Secretary to the Government of Maharashtra in Rural Development, Agriculture and Cooperation, and Planning Departments. He has also served as Joint Secretary in the Ministry of Information and Broadcasting and held the position of Additional Chief Secretary in the Urban Development Department and Revenue and Forest Department of the Government of Maharashtra. He played a pivotal role in significant projects like the Mumbai-Pune Expressway and numerous flyovers in Mumbai metro region. Post-retirement, he continued his service, taking on role of Director General at the National Academy of Construction in Hyderabad, serving in the rank of Special Chief Secretary to the Government of Andhra Pradesh. He also served as the Infrastructure Advisor to the then Chief Minister, Shri Chandrababu Naidu, and later as advisor to the government of Goa. His commitment to development persisted as he assumed the role of VCMD at MADC Limited with the rank and status of Additional Chief Secretary to the Government of Maharashtra. His international exposure and extensive contribution to infrastructure have earned him well-deserved recognition and awards. Beyond his professional pursuits, he has been a dedicated patron of the Hind Seva Parishad, contributing significantly to its growth and impacting over 2,000 students through a dedicated building. His commitment to education is further exemplified by his contribution to his alma mater, where he constructed a biology lab for the benefit of science students. Recently, Shri Sinha sir held the position of advisor to the government of Jharkhand in the rank and status of Minister of State, and after that resigned as honorary advisor to the Ministry of Road Transport and Highway and Shipping, further highlighting his unwavering dedication to public service. It is my privilege, sir, to welcome you on the stage. Moving on, I would like to welcome Dr. Vijay Satbir Singh sir onto the stage. Dr. Singh sir embarked on his professional journey with a solid foundation in medicine, earning his MBBS degree before venturing into the civil services in 1984. His pursuit of knowledge has been extensive, including a MA in economics from the Institute of Development Policy and Management at the University of Manchester, UK. Driven by a passion for continuous learning, he has also enriched his understanding through various executive education courses in public administration at renowned institutions such as the Harvard Kennedy School and the Maxwell School of Public Administration in Syracuse, USA. His engagement in national and international conferences and workshops on subjects ranging from public administration to health reforms, real estate, management, and operation logistics showcases his commitment to staying abreast of the dynamic landscape of governance. In July 2017, Dr. Singh sir assumed the role of member at the Maharashtra Real Estate Regulatory Authority, MAHARERA. Prior to this pivotal role, he served as the Additional Chief Secretary with the Government of Maharashtra, leaving an indelible mark in various capacities within the Indian Administrative Services. His diverse postings included CEO of Zilla Parishad Nanded, Collector of Amravati, Additional Commissioner of Sales Tax, Joint MD of CITCO, Vice Chairman of MSRTC, MD of MSSIDC, and Project Manager for a World Bank-aided health project. In his recent role in the Home Department, Dr. Singh sir simplified numerous procedures and permissions, aligning with his commitment to promoting ease of doing business. I am honored, sir, to extend a warm welcome to you on this stage. Now, I would like to welcome CA Shwetali Thakare, Madam. CA Shwetali Madam is an accomplished top management professional with an extraordinary career spanning 25 years, presenting a wealth of expertise in finance, accounts, economics, and regulatory affairs. Her qualifications are highly esteemed, including Fellow Chartered Accountant, Certified Public Accountant, and Certified Information System Auditor, with a diverse skill set encompassing water economics, governance, and a keen understanding of international financial systems. She has significantly contributed to various sectors. In the realm of water management, she has been a driving force, serving as a member of the Maharashtra Water Resource Regulatory Authority. Prior to this, as a Chief Financial Officer of MADC Limited, she ensured compliance with statutory requirements and making strategic decisions related to tax management. She had held the significant position as CFO in MADC, Director of NMTPL, and Additional General Manager Finance of MMRCL. Beyond the corporate realm, our guest has received numerous accolades, including the Kamla Power Women Award, Women of the Year Award, recognition from the Ministry of Civil Aviation, and was listed in the Limca Book of World Record in 2018. Please join me in welcoming CA Shwetali Thakare, Madam. And finally, I would like to welcome Shri Hemant Talapadatur, sir. I'm so sorry. Hemant sir is a seasoned professional with a BE in electrical engineering, DMM in international marketing, and a chartered engineer. With over 38 years in electromechanical industry, he has left an indelible mark on the global stage, having traveled to 78 countries promoting the Indian electromechanical industry. His expertise extends to business strategies for SMEs and MSME companies, where he has catalyzed growth, achieving remarkable 3x to 5x expansion within 5 years. Mr. Hemant sir has introduced cutting-edge technology products from USA, Canada, UK, Norway, Holland, and Egypt to India, employing predictive maintenance techniques in the electrical industry. Notably, as the Executive Director, Corporate and Marketing at Raven Cables, he formed a strategic joint venture with Prysmian Cables, Italy. Currently serving as the Director at Zecon International Limited, he leads in manufacturing of electrical heat tracing cables and mechanical fabrications of tanks, pipings, structures, skids, etc. His influence extends to advisory roles in key enterprises such as Autonic Energy System Limited and Fabtech Technology Private Limited. Please join me in welcoming Hemant sir onto the stage. I'm confident that the wealth of knowledge and expertise possessed by our esteemed panelists will take our discussion to an unprecedented level. With this, I hand over the floor to Mangesh sir. Thank you.
We are so blessed to have such an eclectic panel before us. Many of them have a pivotal role in inculcating good habits in me, financial habits, not only financial habits. Sometimes I learned many things, especially from Sinha sir, and I cherish those memories. I would share those memories at appropriate time some other day. But before that, today's topic, as we are we are aware that what is the impact and the opportunities before India amidst the global challenges. So, first question to Hemant is that government is consistently doing heavy capex expenditure last couple of years since COVID. And in the hope that private sector will kick in at some moment. What is the reason? As far as Q1 data is concerned, they are saying Q1, that is 24 Q1, that private sector is still lagging in taking that initiative of heavy investment. They are saying that now, third and fourth quarter, they're expecting that they will come in, crowding policy. So in your view, why private sector still is not joining that party? What is the reason?
Good evening, Mangesh. First of all, thank you very much for inviting me here and being a part of the elite panel, especially with Sinha Saab being here, with whom we have learned quite a lot of stuff. My personal view is that, a private sector would only be able to do little bit as against what the government can do. And especially, all the policies which have been defined by the government in the past, whatever in the last 10 years we have seen is basically the reflection of the implementation of those policies, which I think from these elite panel who have been there here out. So a big round of applause to the policy makers of this particular. So, private entities and public sector have to work together, then only growth story can happen. Growth story doesn't happen whether only by private sector or by public sector out. My personal view is that the public sector has to come out with products, because private sector always looks at profits, whereas the public sector looks at the good of the people. And that is why you will always find that the private sector's investments will always be lower compared to what the government has to do. The government spends on the infrastructure, and if the infrastructure is good, the private sector will automatically start entering into it. That is what is my personal view out of it. Thank you. One more point which I want to put out is, look at it from a private sector perspective. When I said it, they're looking at profit. So if they're manufacturing, let's say putting into manufacturing, today the imports from China, which you had put into your presentation as well, that's quite a lot. So yes. If it is economical to import, people will not invest into the manufacturing segment here. And I think the government is given in the policy now of what is to be done for Make in India. And yes. As a personal thing, I would like to say that, why Make in India, you should make it for the world, rather True. Than just make it for India.
True.
Because unless and until you go to those capacities where, like China is saying, controlling 20% today of the world GDP, why are we not trying to control that? Today, if I ask from the audience, if your kids, you want to go to US, Canada or Australia, but how many of you would like your people to go to Africa?
True.
Go to South Africa. I have stayed in South Africa between 1998 and 2001, and I have seen the best of the Europe and the best of our side of Asia in the same country. And that was in 1998. So I'm sure we can make that kind of a stuff here as well.
Yeah, just to add to that, private investment, if you see that they are wary about the global uncertainty. And in the last month only, when Honorable Finance Minister in their press conference, what they have said that they are saying that you take it as given that this global uncertainty will be there and private sector should kick in. ऐसा नहीं होगा कि नॉर्मल कंडीशन सब हो जाएगी. आज हौदी कुछ कर रहा है तो कल और कुछ करेगा. So that is the reason they are insisting. Rather, government, if you see this year, their rate of capex infrastructure, that is incremental rate, has reduced. Yeah. On that.
But it is a worldwide phenomenon. It is not only in India. If you go worldwide also, the investments by the private sector have declined compared to what the governments have been. And one of the reasons which I feel is also the economy is changing. If you look at the economist Mr. Ranade's information is that going forward the service economy will be much bigger than the manufacturing economy. And that is something which is for us is like difficult to understand at this stage, but that's probably his views,
Yes. So I'll come to Singh sir now. Singh sir, what we have seen that you have been working, you have had so many positions, but last you have seen the real estate with very close door. So in that, what I want to say that how the significance of real estate sector to the GDP, or India's GDP, what is the significance? Why real estate sector is so much of importance to the India?
Thank you, Mangesh, and good evening, ladies and gentlemen. First of all, I'd like to congratulate you for making a very good presentation, nicely summing up the budget, starting with the basics of the budget and going right up to making India Viksit by 2047. Now, coming to your question of real estate sector, I think it's very important, and it's important for the common man because it's related to his basic needs of housing. In that sense, it's very important. As far as the economy is concerned, when we talk of economic development, we talk of growth, then real estate sector and its role becomes very important and very significant. It's said that real estate sector alone contributes to more than 7% of the GDP, towards the GDP. And this is increasing. Now it's around 10%. And it would further increase if we take into consideration the other allied sectors in the industry like steel, cement, etc. This becomes much more than this, maybe 14-15%.
True.
Now, when you see in absolute terms, it's said that by 2030, the real estate market alone would be $1 trillion industry, $1 trillion economy in itself. And this is a huge contribution towards the GDP. Now, as far as the employment generation, the other issue is concerned, the real estate sector is next to agriculture in terms of employment generation. You see a large number of workers, crores of workers are working in this sector and the related or allied sectors. So this is very, very important contribution of the real estate sector. I think there is some problem of the sound. Am I audible at the back? So employment generation is also very, very important. And here I would like to say that since you have seen in the presentation also our population is increasing. Now we have overtaken China in terms of population. But our population is young population. Chinese population is aging population.
Yes.
And we are having advantage over the countries which are having, aging population, because our young population, our working population is having a more proportion of the total population as compared to those countries. The challenge before us is to provide them education, give them health facilities, and upskill them so that they are most suitable to take over the jobs which are available in the market. So that's a big challenge for us. But we should not waste this opportunity of demographic dividend which our country is having at the moment.
Yes, true.
And we must take advantage of that. We must equip our workers with suitable skills for which the jobs are available and for which the jobs are going to be available in the coming time because of the changes in technology, because of the changes in manufacturing, and so many other transformations which are going to take place.
Yes, thank you, sir. Thank you. Now I'll come to Shwetali now. Shwetali, as far as the contribution of working women, as we have seen in the data, there is a lot of scope for improvement. So from that perspective, what are those measures already taken by the government for women empowerment? And what are those measures on the ground we can see which they are going to take in future? Your thoughts.
Good evening, friends. First of all, today is a big day for me because today I am sharing this with Sinha sir. I was very proud to always quote that I have 25 years of experience, and when I was talking to Sinha sir, then he said that he has 25 years of experience post his retirement. So I am very young over here, so kindly cooperate if I do any mistake. So just pardon me for that. And thank you, Mangesh sir, thank you, Singh sir and Hemant sir. What is basically how much population share female have in India is almost 69 crores, which accounts for 48.42%. And out of which I think 24% is employed females. General per se, it's like, if you see in rural India, it's 10% population, female population, who is employed, and 9% or 7% is it urban. So this is the status. What is the employability? Employability is the 67% of the females. Vis-a-vis the working are only 24%. So there's a wide gap. So what are the different steps this budget and the earlier government has taken includes, in current budget they had given, the center is actually proposed to the state that men who are ready, like the men who are ready to share their land, to them the subsidy is to be given in case of rural housing schemes.
Yes.
So with whom that if he is ready to share his land with his wife. In addition to that, they have also made it more lucrative by giving 2% stamp duty exemption in case he is going to have joint ownership of that property. So these are the two very important and significant steps. Why? Because you will see that in rural India, hardly any of the properties are owned by the females, and this is a very, very important strategy of the government, because when you have a house, too many things become very clear. Secondly, you know the self-help group. So as you are aware that 83 lakh self-help group are there, which are actually very helpful in elevating the socio-economic status of the rural economy. In that case, almost 9 crore females are working into it, and you will be amazed to know that almost 1 crore females are actually independent, because of which. I'm talking slowly because these numbers are very regular to us, but those who are not from this thing, so they should actually it should be take out when they take with them. So 1 crore females, and that is from where this terminology of Lakhpati Didi had come. Education is very primary, it is very important. You know Sudha Murthy ne, unka college kaun sa tha? BVB college, I guess so. So I think in that time she was the only female in her college. But today you know that in STEM, what is science, technology, engineering and the maths, 43% females are studying, and which is largest in the whole world. And how it is getting reflected? It is getting reflected by way of the employability. Then the resources, like so many females are getting employment and they are part of the workforce. This is regarding the education. If you see from the entrepreneur's perspective, again you know that अभी property नहीं है तो फिर loan कैसे लेंगे sir? So this is the basic problem. तो जो PM मुद्रा लोन आया था योजना, PM मुद्रा योजना, उसमें out of 43 crores, 22.5, almost 50% of the loan has been granted to the females. So that was also been done. So far as Parliament and Assembly मध्ये 1/3 seats are reserved. So now we are getting voice. I'm saying I'm also getting voice in Parliament because my ladies would be there in the Parliament and the assemblies.
Here also 1/3. 1/3.
1/3.
1/4.
1/3 हुआ भी. No, 1/3 नहीं, it's a 25% too. So, then again, you must be hearing very now and then that a lot of Ponzi schemes are there, right? Ponzi schemes are there. ये ladies जो होती है ना kitty में बड़ा लगाती है कि rotation में पैसे मिलते जाए. So they are not aware about various schemes that are being floated. So one of the good initiatives that has been taken by the 2023 budget was for small saving scheme for the females. That is the Mahila Samman Saving Certificates. So the maximum limit for that is 2 lakhs rupees, and on which on that deposit they can earn 7.5% annually. So that is also a very good figure. So you can see that on various sectors, even the safety and security, that Mission Shakti has been enrolled. So many schemes are being floated by the government, and for that again they are tracking, for which the tracking is by way of, it has got a very nice nomenclature they have given, the gender responsive, gender responsive budgetary strategy. That is the one. So in that they are going to track how the budget is responding to the females or the women's priorities. So this is how they are going to track. And I think the government has done wonderful job, and we could see over a period of time in a shorter duration that more and more workforce of females in the society. Thank you, sir.
Yeah, thanks for that info. Elaborate and detailed, because we are really not aware that government is promoting for joint ownership of female, especially in the villages while they are constructing house. In a way they are not compelling, but they are making that so lucrative that that better half has no choice to make his better half to be a part of the house as a owner. Okay. Yes. Yes, sir, you can come also here. So please come.
I just want to add to this.
Yeah, sir.
Actually I'm also ex-secretary from government of Maharashtra, and we always say proudly what we do in Maharashtra today, the center starts following it next day or next year. What this information, I used to be RDD secretary, rural development, and Mr. R. Patil was our minister. We started this concept, okay, every house in the village must have joint ownership on the plate also. And this has been implemented all through. This was one, and we developed about 1 lakh of SHGs, mostly run by women. And I used to go to almost every village. We had a World Bank, actually Vijay, I used to be health secretary also. We had a program for World Bank aided health program. But in rural development, lots of things were done. And they were mostly, and you can imagine, the recovery from the female SHGs was almost 100%. And when I went to all over the places, they used to have a very good book. की साहेब आपण एवढे लोन्स घेतला आणि आता पण आपण एवढी परत केली आहे, आपल्याकडे आपण डेट फ्री होणार आहोत, हे ॲसेट आपलं स्वतःचं होईल. This concept has gone. I went to one village in Chandrapur and they had started bakri palan वगैरह. Then I told them that you have this idea that you develop small kits in bakri palan which can be used during Bakrid and another festival where they have lots of so the cost increases. If you have a 1 year goat, the Bakrid people, we have a sacrificial occasion, so it goes into almost 10 times of the cost. And they got this idea. They had lots of goat rearing, and I went to Mawad, which is in Pune. The nursery by the women, nurseries of plants. We get them 2 trucks, and they used to bring to APMC Washi, and they earn lots of money only in selling the saplings. So women, if you have to, have faith in them. Our friend was talking about mindset. Unfortunately, politicians and bureaucrats, they don't have this mindset to allow the female to come up. When we were collectors, sir, in Latur, one lady officer was posted, there is by Nakor, as collector, So this set up in the mindset. Then much later I was collector Nasik. We had Malegaon trouble time in 92. Then they asked me, a lady officer, can we post to as SDM Malegaon? Why not? I am prepared to take her as a SDM Malegaon. And we got her. It's a matter, how much faith you have in the capability of the females. And if you have the mindset, they can lead you. So thank you. All the best.
S.S. Hussain sir, he's again a toward personality, ex-JNPT chairman, and very close few of the IS lobbies or IS bureaucrats, that they have their mind, their heart in right place. Singh sir, Sinha sir. So these people, if they are at the helm of the affairs of the country, there has to be inclusive growth. And what you have shared, sir, your experiences, real life experiences. Whenever I discuss with Sinha sir, he has told me one story. I'll tell you in 1 minute. He told me about the land, why land is important. In real estate, one question I want to ask, why prices of Mumbai are increasing? The prices of Mumbai are increasing mainly because of the land price and the premiums that you pay to the municipal. सिन्हा सर को मैंने एक बार पूछा कि सर मैं कुछ एक लैंड लेना चाहता हूँ, क्या करूँ? सो उसने स्टोरी बताई. उन्होंने स्टोरी क्या बताई, एक मारवाड़ी था और इस मारवाड़ी ने अपने बच्चे को अपने बिजनेस में बड़ा करने का सोच लिया. वो बच्चे ने किसी को लोन दिया था और वो लोन रिपे नहीं कर पाया था, और वो सामने वाला जो बोरोवर था, आउट ऑफ नो ऑप्शन ही हैज सेड यू टेक माय लैंड बैक. सो उन्होंने बोला नहीं, बेटे ने बोला नहीं मुझे पैसा ही चाहिए. पिताजी ये देखो पैसा नहीं दे रहा है, लैंड दे रहा है. अरे मूर्ख, वो ले ले. बोले क्यों? वो तो लैंड करके करेंगे क्या? किसी को हमें दे नहीं सकता, वापस रिफाइनेंस नहीं कर सकता. तो वो साहूकार था, उसने क्या बताया कि एक बात ध्यान लो कि सब बनाया, ऊपर वाले ने सब दोबारा बनाया, लेकिन एक सिर्फ चीज़ है लैंड, वो दोबारा बनाई नहीं. आप रिक्लेम कर सकते हो, और जैसे बैंड्रा रिक्लेमेशन किया है, नरीमन पॉइंट में किया है, बट दैट इज आई गॉन बिट ऑफ फ्रॉम द टॉपिक. बट दीज आर द फ्यू एक्सपीरियंसेस, रियल लाइफ moments with these people that makes us reach Okay. With this, I would definitely, we have Niladabir madam with us. I have one question for her, that what is inclusive development? When I say that reskilling and upskilling, because she has pioneered, I've seen her as a school of vocational education. It's a very good one venture or one project which TIS has been running for quite 4 or 5 years, or more than 4 or 5 years. So your thoughts, madam? What are the things which government is doing, and what are the changes which are making on the ground? Yeah, skilling and upskilling.
And it has been, there are lots of schemes that government had introduced. Some of them have not been successful, the first few, because the government was not very careful about the criteria to select the candidates, and it was doling out of money. But over a period of time, the schemes are becoming more and more stringent, and they are doing all that scrutiny of the candidates who are being given the money for skilling, and also the companies or training centers which are providing the training. My experience is that the short-term trainings have very little significance. Short-term training for upskilling is very useful, but short-term training for basic skilling is not useful, because in 3 months or 6 months you cannot make a person employable for the market. So skilling initiatives, and now the government is giving lots of grants for setting up skill universities. Now all these things are in the initial stage, and there are lots of experiments happening, some successful, some not so successful. But bringing the skill agenda at the center stage is a very important initiative of the government, and many universities are trying their own models, and somehow something which is more sustainable will be taken forward. So right now it's very difficult to see the impact of skilling initiatives, but it is definitely a very important agenda of the government. Thank you.
Thanks. Thank you, madam. Thank you. Yeah, with this, now I'll ask our chairman of the panel to share his views on the overall, or he wants to share his experiences. He is welcome about his experience pertaining to budget and the implementation of the budget, how it affects on the ground.
Thank you, my colleagues sitting with me. Mr. Mangesh Kadam, yes. Can you, is it, am I clear? Yes. Can you hear me?
Yes.
I'm asking to the last bench. Okay. Mr. Mangesh Kadam presentation reminds me of the presentation of the budget used to be done Mr. Palkiwala in CCI every year. And stadium used to be full. Very well studied, that has reduced lot of my job to talk about the budget. As a person who is supposed to be the concluding remark, I am not supposed to make any original remark. However, I agree with my colleague here that the need for joint venture between the public sector and private sector is necessary for the growth. And GDP can grow if we have a synergy between two investments. Okay. And therefore, profit is a must. Now, profit till 1992, 20, in the country was a bad word. any public sector which made profit was looked down by the government. What wrong they are doing, they are making profit. Are they cheating the public? And if the private sector make profit, it was supposed to be sin against the nation. That was the attitude which I have seen it suffered in the government, this attitude of that profit is a wrong thing to be done. But profit is necessary for investment and therefore for the growth. But there should not be unsecured, immoral profit at the same time. There is for the government to ensure that this does not happen. And then, my dear sir, you said that investment of the private sector is declining and public sector is going up. I beg to disagree with you. This is true in the developing countries, but not true in developed countries. Developed countries, the private investment is much more than the, for example, whole railway system in USA is the private investment. Not a 1 rupee of the government was done. Except in 1940 road, 1939, 40, 29 and 30 when the depression came, when the national highway construction in America started. At that time, the first time the major public investment in road sector is started. So we have to find it out a synergy between these two. My colleague and my neighbor stated about the real sector. Real sector, according to him, contribute to 6 to 7% of the GDP. But according to report which was given by the CREDAI and the National Maharashtra Institute of Housing and Industry to the Honorable Finance Minister, because a lot of demands were there, they claimed it to be much higher. In fact, if we see the report of the Planning Commission, when they are talking about 6 and 9% growth for 2000, they are also saying that the construction industry should go at about 11.5% to match this. So, now we have to take into consideration the heavy potential of employment, which Singh very rightly mentioned it. For example, when I am doing Mumbai-Pune Expressway, there were at least 4,500 persons working on that road, skilled and unskilled, over and above the supervisors, engineers, etc. I am not counting them. Okay. So we keeping into mind, and according to me, the construction industry is not only construction industry, therefore the demand that it should be called an industry is justified. Its construction should be called an industry and given the station of industry. One of these construction factor suffering real estate is the price of the land, which is going sky high. And therefore houses are being made in this metropolitan city like Bombay for the higher income group, not for MIG and LIG. Therefore, more houses are being made for those persons which can't afford it. Therefore, there is a need for controlling the and checking the price of the land. And for that, I don't mind personally speaking, against all persons who are environmentalists, that if need be, land can be reclaimed from the sea. After all, if you remove the land from the Holland reclaimed land, Holland will disappear virtually. Nothing will remain in Holland also. And okay, okay. Now, similarly, I have faced the problem when I was doing the flyovers and also from the environmentalists, along with Mr. Nitin Gadkari, about reclamation of the land. I asked the person a very simple question. You are asking me not to reclaim the land for infrastructure, but you himself are leaving the reclaimed land in Churchgate. So first you vacate it from there. Okay. Need be, we can reclaim his whole Hong Kong airport is on the reclaimed land. Whole of Hong Kong. But we have put a degree of 500 meters. Why? Because then Prime Minister looked at it and said 500 is good. Why 500, what 300, what 600? No logic, no this also. And then the so-called environment coastal regulation zone was made, quoting the Geneva Convention. Okay. Because based on Geneva Convention, this is being done. Actually, that convention did not include tributaries and rivulets. But in Indian, they have included this. So we have gone one beyond that. Why, I don't know. If we apply this coastal regulation zone, nothing can be done in Kerala. All development have to stop. Okay, I'm not going into that more than that. Madam, your assessment about the education of female is the most welcome and solid investment. According to me, if a girl is educated, the whole family is educated. If the boy is educated, only an individual is educated. Therefore, there is a need for employment ability. But employment, which Mr. Kadam talked in his speech, my experience is slightly different. There is a lot of unemployment, but there is a shortage of employable people. Serious shortage of employment people also. If you look for it, you won't find it. And but application will be 1,000 out of that. Even Israel wanted 1,000 persons for workers in Israel. After whole interview, they get only 690 persons. Now they are going to other places. So, apart from the education, skill development is important. I agree with it. Now, Mr. Kadam, you have very nicely done the analysis of budget. There is no doubt about that. But few places, I beg to disagree with you. First is the proportion of the GDP being made into education. When the government of India talks is education of the budget of the central and state government. There is no mention of the budget of Gram Panchayat, Jila Parichay and Panchayat Samiti in that. Therefore, that figure is not correct. Second, whatever the private institution is spending so much of money, whether a Christian institution, whether there is a Maharashtra, you got Deccan Kisan Education Center, in Kerala you have Nair Education Society. These are not taken into consideration, therefore we get a slightly under
So that is private players' expenditure should be included in the expenditure. That's what you are saying.
Good if it is
That's
included.
contribution. Yes, yes.
Second very interesting factor is about the GDP itself. Okay, madam, if my wife works in your house and you pay her, and your husband in Margao, I pay her, they are included in GDP. But your husband works in your house and my work in my house, which doesn't come into GDP. Okay. Am I right?
Yes.
So that is why it is said that less women are working. Actually, women are working more than male. Whether in agriculture, other sector. But in GDP, they are not included. This is question which has been raised by economist Pigu from London. 60 years back, 70 years back, GDP is a misnomer. Okay. It's not correctly calculatable. Therefore, self-employment person is zero income. Person working for others is included in the income. That has been. And so far, IMF figure of suggestion, at a took a pinch of salt, nahi, a bag of salt, not pinch of salt. Remember Southeast Asia crisis. What is the IMF and World Bank suggested is the best economy in Southeast Asia. One day at the best economy, Malaysia has about $40 billion of deposit. Next day it becomes negative. And then say the best economy.
So that is.
Fortunately, we didn't follow advice of World Bank, IMF, therefore India was safe. So I think we should take that.
So that is the reason our government of India has refuted the observations of IMF, and all the more while refuting the observations, what they have said that forget about the situation of India regarding US and all advanced economies. In the worst scenario, they are saying debt will go about 200%.
Yeah,
that is
what
also
I'm
there.
saying
Yeah.
is you have to take with a pinch of
Yeah,
salt.
that-
I'm not
that's
saying
good.
that you ignore it completely, rejected, but I have seen the quality of experts from the World Bank and by IMF. I can challenge it that my experts are much better than those who come from World Bank. I remember one case, a very interesting, Mr. Mangesh Kadam, that the team came from World Bank and they said that I will give a loan to VST provided they take American experts on their committee. So the managing director was up in arms. He said, I don't want the loan. I said, hold on. And I talked to World Bank. Don't send me persons who are teaching public transport in the classroom. Those who have done in the field and their performance is better than the BST, I'll welcome them. And I challenge you, no public transport in the world is better for performing than the best, even today. The best performance. How can you send your expert from Greyhound to come to BST, where their performance is much lower than the BST? So I have been experienced. I know. Once an expert came from World Bank and he made a statement before the minister. He said, sir, why you have not taken loan from us? I told him to the minister, I said, sir, if you want me to take a project which I don't agree, I'll go to World Bank for loan and it will never be sanctioned and project will never be done. So I will be happy to go World Bank where I don't want to do a project. Then Mr. Nitin Gadkari agreed with me. I said, your World Bank is worse than the Indian bureaucracy. Okay. Now, other things of precaution which have not come is current account deficit, which worries me quite much.
True.
How long we can depend on foreign investment to meet the current account deficit? There is a limit to which take place. That has to be taken. I know this is not a budget. Actually, this is vote on accounts.
Yes.
Budget will come after the new government is formed. So as an vote account, the finance minister has done excellent job, including, which is also, they have said 2 crore houses in next 5 years, and at the rate of 250 square feet per house, it's for 500 crore square feet. That means normally 100 crore square feet per year. Can't be able to. Then again, that housing doesn't talk of private sector investment and private builders which are making houses, only talk of the government houses. But one good lining there is that government is thinking of the middle income housing also. So, it has been a good budget. As an interim vote on accounts, we should welcome it. And Mangesh, you said, let's not look what tax benefits we have got. Let us look at what the benefit the budget will give to the country.
Yes, true.
That is the best way. Thank you very much.
We have very less time for the question answer. So I'll hand it over to Tanvi.
Let us now begin with our question and answer round. If you have any queries or questions, please feel free to raise your hand. We'll be delighted to address them. I would also request everyone to fill the feedback forms provided to you. Our team will collect it at the end of the Q&A session. Thank you.
Mangesh sir, good evening. My query is, many people are receiving notices from income tax department for their past basically properties, investments or any financial transactions. So why they are getting the notices right now, immediately? And what should they do for that? मीन्स उन्होंने क्या करना चाहिए उसके लिए कि नोटिसेस ना आए? सो एनी गाइडेंस ऑन दैट प्लीज.
Yes, Satish, thank you. It's a good question, and this is basically we are facing these issues because of what we have discussed, that government is using AI technology and they are all interconnected. Now, if the stamp authority, they are getting the data on a monthly basis. What is happening, whatever you are doing, whatever you are registering, immediately that data is passed on to the income tax portal. There is no any human intervention. What is happening, immediately that notice is, who is generating? Computers is generating. They are calling it as a computer assisted selected scrutiny. Now immediately you will get a notice that you have invested this much, or you have bought a property of 2 crores, have you disclosed in your return of income? If you have disclosed your return of income, please furnish your return of income. Now that is the reason what precaution we need to take, that whenever you file the return, you must be getting 26 AS, it's a long old story. But now there are AIS and TIS, annual information statement, and tax information statement. Now, whenever you file the return, the precaution should be, you have to match everything and then you have to file.
Okay.
After filing the return also, you are getting so many notices that have you disclosed this income in your return of income. What is happening that I have already disclosed, but by default they are sending you the notices. And that notices generally comes at 12 o'clock at night, midnight. You know, if have you noticed that many a times it comes on Sunday because those notices are computer generated notices. They don't know. So what is only important thing that you have to take precaution. You cannot just file your returns just filing your Form 16 on the basis of your 26 years.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Yeah, thanks.
Good evening. My name is Prasad Patnekar. Respected panelists, my question is, if government intention is to increase tax base, then why agriculture income is out of tax ambit?
Currently, I am not into practice, so therefore I have limited knowledge, but I can address onto it. Actually, agricultural income is taxable, but it is taxable, there are certain way of calculation based on which the tax slab increases when you have agricultural income. But if someone is having only agricultural income, in that case, why it is not being propagated is, if you see that almost 86% of the land holding is less than 2 hectares. And if you see that more than that, 2 to 5% are the holders which is owning land more than 5 hectares. So therefore, the whole energy that would be required in taxing the agriculturist would be much higher as compared to whatever returns that are going to come. So we need to see to it like what is the tax receipt ratio vis-a-vis what would be the income. And in that also the land holding, you will see that what is irrigated land, what is non-irrigated land, what is dry land. So in that overall that computation has already been made by the government and doesn't seem to be a very viable option. And 50% of the 54% of our economy is dependent on agriculture. So these are n number of 1, 2, 3, 4 points if you club together. So it's doesn't make much of the sense to only tax the agricultural income. But frankly, if you see those who are really making money into agriculture, they are getting taxed because it is clubbing of the income. Maybe Mangesh sir can add on to it.
To add to this, you know, as yes, what Singh sir wants to say, that agriculture revenue, that land tax that is collected, that is also taxed. To some extent, he is absolutely right. That tax is recovered. But as far as income tax is concerned, there is a Vijay committee report in which they have mentioned that agriculture income is to be taxed. Then out of total agriculturists, 95% of them are having income below the taxable limit. If 5% are taxed, then if they need to be taxed, there is no two opinions on that. But government will take this decision at appropriate time. But how to differentiate how many of them are in the 5%? But if the 5% are to be taxed, yes, indeed they have to be taxed.
Okay, thank you.
Good evening.
Hi.
I'm Aditi Dhapre. I have my manufacturing business. As a woman entrepreneur, I don't know whether this question is relevant over here. Government is giving subsidies on the manufacturing businesses to the women entrepreneur. We receive subsidy, we know that this money will be rolled for doing the business. But when we apply for the subsidy, years pass, but we never receive it. It is on the machinery, 100% subsidy is provided by the government, but it is only on the paper. So if I have invested in machinery and I know I'm going to get the subsidy, we generally plan for the rolling and we expand the business on the basis of that. But generally government is very keen on taxes, but providing subsidy is secondary agenda, and generally nobody is interested in it. So how the woman entrepreneur can grow with this type of attitude of the government, only receiving the money and not giving the benefits to the entrepreneurs to strengthen their businesses. So due to this, only tax paying and the rolling is happening, but no profitability, nothing, and we just go on doing paperwork, and no replies are there. So is there any department where we can ask for the reason? Because tax एक दिन भी लेट हो गया तो उसका पेनल्टी है, सब्सिडी 2 साल नहीं आया तो उसका इंटरेस्ट who will pay? So is the government
in short, you want to
responsible?
say that the government is not
Government is not responsible. They are using
So,
AI
yes.
with interest. यानी
Yes.
उनके लिए यूज कर रहे हैं तो वो AI 3 मिनट में 4 मिनट में सिर्फ रिफंड देने के लिए नहीं है ना. सब्सिडीज नहीं मिलेंगे तो बिजनेस कैसे ग्रो होगा?
That's true.
So
we'll take that question. Hussain sir, would you like to answer that? Because, Adi's a prashna barobar hai, but point is, this is, I feel on behalf of everyone, what I can suggest, that it depends on the person who is in the chair. Okay, and this is going on across, but you can take this question of the dais with these dignitaries afterwards. Yeah.
I would like to just put one point as an entrepreneur. My suggestion is do not make your business plan based on subsidy, because if you are making your business plan based on subsidy, you are going to fail in the business. Private people, whenever they are going to make, they should partner with the government, but they should not make their plans based on subsidy. Like this, if you look at most of the renewable energy plans which are there, they are based on all the subsidy models. And if you look at wind energy, how the whole thing went down fat was basically because their plans when they made were based on subsidy. But if you make your plan as a business model and then look at whatever your incomes are going to come as a supplementary thing to your business plan, then you will not fail out of it. Don't worry about what the government is not giving you. Look at what you are making to change the world. Forget about it. No, that's what I said. Forget the subsidy part of it. If your business plan is based on subsidy, then it is bound to fail. That is my personal assumption. I mean, people may have different.
I'll give a small example. The first 5-year plan of India, do you know what is the total quantity of that? 4,800 crores. Out of that, 2,400 crores was from the taxes, 1,200 crores was borrowing, and 1,000 crores was from foreign aid. That what was the foreign aid? The India which has earned during the Second World War, that was used for deficit financing. That was situation. Before that, J.R.D. Tata had made a Bombay plan, okay, which has utilized the services of private sector, but the 5-year plan, planning commission rejected that report, and he said no. Private sector is only going to make profit. We don't want their involvement in the planning question. That you will find in the report of the planning commission of 5-year plan. I have read it. As a student, I have read it. 5 years.
So, as an advisor, I can tell you regarding something about subsidies. See, most of the business are gone in, like many investments, like I have worked for the PSI schemes, 93 and 99 during my articleship. Therein, I think most of the companies have done wonderful job under this all subsidy schemes. Even today they are doing it. But the only thing when you know practically the cycle with which the subsidy is being received is little longer. So when you are preparing your cash flows, you have to account for that. This is something advisory, not as a government person. I'm talking as a chartered accountant here. That whenever, suppose you, even if you are going for the bank or whenever you're working for any government organization, you know that once you put up the bill, it will take couple of 3 to 4 months to get the payment. So off record, I'm saying again. But then that you have to account for. That yes, it will take 90 days, 120 days to receive, and accordingly you have to prepare the working capital cash flow. So I think that is the way which you have to work on to it. And so far as government to take measures, definitely government has started. It has started with the digitization from every aspect, and it is going to pose a lot of challenges onto the private players, because as you are aware that a lot of subsidies which are not even eligible are being received by those. And then you will say that manual was better than the digitize. That I can even write it down and tell you. Thank you.
Just I want to know why, what was the thought process in the mind of government in this budget that they would have not come out with any tax slab changes or any changes in the tax rate for the individual or company or LLP, like as Mr. Mangesh said that nation comes first and then individuals, but nation in 8 crores we are taxpayers are there. So why they have not thought that? They were so confident that in upcoming elections they will come, and they just ignored. What was the key elements behind that? They have not come out with any tax slabs or tax rate changes. What are the key elements? What would have been the thought process in the mind of government?
May I take this?
Why tax breaks are not being given?
What?
Tax breaks or tax benefits.
Tax benefits are demanded, but tax demand for utilization is also at the same time. Now the choice is between these two. Tax benefits can already been given to maximum extent. Today, the income tax rate is lower than in UK. It is lower than the many states in USA, because there are 2 taxes in most of these states, central income tax and state income tax. Together, it goes up to 40%. But also, plus taxation. Of course, there can be person like ex-president who never paid income tax because he believed that tax evasion is an art and tax non-payment is a crime. Why not evade it? There's a beautiful book which I read it about the failure of income tax in America. Nicely written book in which is given how many times the income tax was amended, and every amendment and every increase the taxation increase the reduction in the taxation. Total calculation also. So let us, I agree with suggestion option number 1 given by Mr. Kadam, increase the taxation. But instead of taxation, I will say surcharge on income tax should be included, not the income tax itself, because that will have adverse effect on the growth. And what is going to happen to the tax saving? I don't know. It will be not be beneficial for the country's expenditure. Mr. Kadam explained that we are going to improve the railways. We need money for that. Airport, 2, 3, education, R&D, and also the roads, which I have a personal experience of having worked at that also. We need money for that. And every expenditure on the infrastructure increases the GDP about 1 and a half time. Only precaution and things which had not been cared by the government of India is the reduction in the gestation period. Out of 1,800 projects in government of India, about 1,600 are beyond time. Cost is coming on that. Finance will be very careful to save 50 crores, but they won't bother if the total cost goes by 500 crores. That is how the finance works. I know by experience. Well, there was discussion at the Shamshabad airport. The difference between the government of Andhra Pradesh and GMR was 80 crores. You were asking X and the government said, I'll give you less than 80 crores. 3 meetings, no conclusion. Then I went to CM. I said, it's a 7,000 crores project. We have delayed it by already by 3 months. It has already, in interest, we have paid 150 crores more. What do you want? Be extra 80 crores and let us deal with the project. What do you want? I said, I brought the file, please sign it. Of course, the finance minister and chief secretary was up against me. I said, look here, I don't report you. I report only to the CM. So gestation period is very important for to reduce the cost of project. That is how it is leading. Thank you.
So we are short of time.
Yeah,
If
good
it's
evening.
last question will
Yeah,
take.
yeah.
Sir, hello. Good evening, sir. In the past 2-3 years, government had made changes in the
One second. Sulochana, just hold for a moment. Chandu, can you just take your question?
Good evening. My name is Chandra Hasrate. Thank you, Mangesh, and it's a very nice initiative by you. Appreciate it. I want to ask that there are a lot many people are not still paying a tax. And before some years, I heard that government is want to abolish the tax completely and doing the indirect taxes where all the people will come in the tax bracket. So is kind of initiative government will take in future. What do you think?
I got the question again.
See, before few years back, I heard that the government will abolish the tax. There will be no tax at all, but they will take the indirect tax from everything. So is that kind of initiative will come where all the people will come into the tax bracket directly?
It's a wishful thinking. It's a wishful thinking. So this type of initiative, already we have seen how we are falling short of funds, and every year we are borrowing for the allocated expenditure on the essential sectors, health, education, R&D, rural development. So it is not going to happen. Let us not remain in a fool's paradise by expecting that income tax is going to abolish. So it will not happen.
Already we are paying indirectly taxes much more.
You continue to pay. That's what they are saying. So please excuse me. We'll take all the other questions of the dais because we are running short of time. Anyone? Yeah, we'll take later. Yeah, we'll conclude. Sulochana will take the question later on because we are running short of time.
Okay, sir.
Yeah, thanks.
If you have any other queries, you can email us and we'll be happy to answer. But as of now, I would request Mangesh sir to honor and felicitate our esteemed panelists for their valuable contribution.
Yeah, since we are coming to the closure of the program, extremely sorry for delaying the program. We are standing between you and the dinner. Let me ask you last financial question. That what is the most invaluable asset in life? Last financial question. What is the most invaluable asset? Yes? Yes, Geeta madam. Health? Anyone else? Happiness. So my friend Jitendra is here, and always he's my Birbal, or what you call it, Krishna. Whenever I find any question unanswered, I generally ask him. So he's right, he's bang on it. He's saying time. Okay. So it's not investment in land, it is not investment in real estate, it is not investment in bond, it is not investment in shares. What is most important is investment in yourself. Yes, स्वतःला करायचं. So that investment in yourself definitely requires time. And today, this Saturday evening, all of you has given most valuable asset of yours, that is time. And I am really touched by that. And I am thankful to all of you for being here for proactive participation. And I am thankful to this wonderful panelists. They have contributed to our budget session, including Hussain sir. I have been after him that you be with us so we can be more enlightened with your knowledge. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, everyone. Thanks.
Now, as we conclude this seminar, my heartfelt appreciation goes out to each one of you who graced us with their presence. A sincere thanks to Mangesh sir for sharing his valuable insights and expertise and setting the tone for an evening filled with knowledge. Special appreciation is reserved for our distinguished panelists whose diverse perspectives enriched our discussion. To our enthusiastic audience, thank you for your active participation and for contributing to the dynamic atmosphere of the event. Finally, a big thank you to the dedicated team of MPK for their tireless efforts behind the scene that ensured seamless execution of today's seminar. Without their collective efforts, this seminar would not have been possible. Now, as we bring the day to a close, we would like to extend you a warm invite to join us for dinner. It would not just be a meal, but an opportunity to unwind and continue the discussion in a more relaxed setting. I hope you all enjoy your evening. We look forward for future engagements. Have a pleasant evening ahead. Thank you all for patiently listening.